Okay, let's see. All right, good morning, everybody. This is Nicole Whitlock with Ecom Sellers, and this is the daily Econ Planning session where we talk about what you need to be doing on a daily basis to continue to move the needle in your business. So, my name is Nicole Whitlock, and my passion is helping people on their e-commerce journey, helping them to get organized, get focused, get consistent in their business. And if that's you, I'm here for you. You can schedule a free 20-minute coaching session by going to ecomsellers.com and clicking on free resources. But we will get into that in just a minute. Today, we have a topic. And the topic is my favorite 6 retail arbitrage stores. Now, here's the caveat. These are not just like stores for this month or this season. Like if I only could choose 6 stores to go to and I only had these 6 stores available to me, then, I would choose them over any other stores. Now, these are not the only 6 stores that I go to. There's actually probably close to 12 that are my absolute favorite, but I had to cut it in half and narrow it down to 6. And there's roughly about 35 that I actually source from, believe it or not. That includes a lot of mom and pop stores as well. So this again is not an inclusive list of every store that I go to, but if I had to narrow it down and said, okay, you source 6 days a week, these are the only 6 stores you could go to. What 6 stores would you choose if you source 6 days a week and you had to choose a different store every single day? Which stores would you go to? And this would be year round and not just for Q4, not just for Q1, Q2, or Q3. This would be year round. So these are my 6 that I would choose if I was forced to narrow it down, but just know that this is not the inclusive list of all of them. So before we get into the list and before we get into the daily econ planning checklist, the first thing I want to do is invite you to go download the daily econ planning checklist. You can go to eCom, the e-commerce planning Facebook group. Again, go into Facebook, go search for e-commerce planning. And then once you find e-commerce planning, join that Facebook group and go to the files section, download the monthly, weekly, and daily checklist. So you can follow along after we go through the list of stores. We're going to jump into the daily checklist. So if you already have it downloaded, it makes it a whole lot easier to be able to do that. So with that being said, let's get into the list of stores. So the first store, if I could only choose 6 stores and I didn't have any other choice year round, first one would be Walmart. I would choose Walmart. With Walmart, there's so many different reasons why I would choose it. One, in the Dallas Fort Worth area, we have a plethora of Walmarts. That's the first thing. Number 2, there's a whole strategy about sourcing for Walmarts in the outer, rural areas, which is a whole nother gold mine of inventory that you can acquire. Number 3, they have hidden clearance. And I love it when you scan using your Walmart app and you find some extra hidden gems that you didn't see before. And then 4, they always kind of give you an indication of what it is that they believe that the market is interested in. And they do a fairly good job of putting out some of that stuff early. I think there's only one other store that kind of beats them to the punch sometimes, but they do a fairly decent job. So if you're paying attention and you're going to the store every single week, there's always something that you could be sourcing and selling. There's always something you can scan. You can always find things in clearance. Like there's always something. So if I had to narrow it down, I would choose Walmart over Target if I was forced to choose only 6 stores year round. Walmart would be the first one on the list that I would choose. And that's because I have a lot of them. Now, if you don't have a lot of Walmarts, maybe there's another store. But again, this is my own personal list if I was forced to narrow it down. Number 2 is the Dollar Tree. So the Dollar Tree, I like them for so many different reasons. One, a well-run Dollar Tree store, and that's the key, they normally have their stuff out sometimes earlier on the floor, earlier than Walmart, believe it or not. And so again, it's always a great indication of what they perceive based on their research, people are going to be looking for, buying, or what the next season or hot item is that's going to be on the shelves. The other reason why I like them is that you can actually order online. You can order in bulk and you can have it delivered to your local store, which I love that. And three, they have so many different products that are generic brand. So if you're selling on a platform like Amazon, where there's so many restricted brands, I mean, it feels like everything is a restricted brand, but it's not. Um, Dollar Tree is a perfect one to source from because a lot of those listings sometimes don't exist. And so it's a great opportunity to create listings. And then the fourth reason is because there's so many bundle opportunities, just bundle after bundle after bundle. So many different variations of bundle opportunities that you can create just from sourcing from the Dollar Tree. Now, I will tell you again, because there's a lot of them, as soon as you create that Dollar Tree bundle listing, there will be other sellers that will jump on the listing. Trust me, I have experienced that many times. But again, you can source from the Dollar Tree. You can order in bulk. I could drive up 35 because I live in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and I can go to their actual distribution center in Oklahoma, which is not far, and grab whatever I need to grab or place an order and pick up things at my local store. So the next one is Five Below. I like Five Below. I was actually introduced to Five Below from my mentor, Miss Nikki Witherspoon, who I'm eternally grateful to. Um, she introduced me to Five Below. I think they had them in Houston before we actually had them in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. And so when we finally started getting them, I was like, yes. Um, they have a lot of things that like the Gen X and millennials are really interested in. There's a lot of color, there's a lot of pop. They do stay up on some of the latest trends of what that specific targeted group is looking for. And so, that targeted group will spend money on just random things. They like to go into that store. And so being able to sell those things online, plus you have the opportunity to potentially put together some bundles. And the other thing is I learned the strategy from Miss Nikki Witherspoon is you flip it over and find out who the distributor is and establish an account with them. So again, so many reasons why Five Below is a great store to choose to source from. So I like the rotation of products that they put out and the fact that it is what that specific community, Gen X and millennials, they're looking for those things. And if you can sell them, if you can source and sell them, put them and also put them in bundles, you'll always have buyers. You'll always have buyers. The stores are always packed. You should check that out. Pay attention to the age group. Like go to the store at different times, different stores. Whatever stores you're sourcing from doing retail arbitrage, and go at different times and see what age groups that you're seeing in those stores during that times and what is the makeup of those customers. Sometimes it's young families, sometimes it's mature individuals. It just depends. So pay attention to that and see if you figure out what the common thread is. That might give you some insight into how to target different audiences. Number 4. So I've talked about Big Lots over and over again, and Big Lots requires patience and consistency, but they always have something that is different, unique, that other stores don't have. And there's a couple other stores that are similar to that because it's a closeout store. And they have things that are interesting and unique. And so the one thing about Big Lots is that sometimes you'll find things that are interesting and unique that are specific to your Big Lots. And so nobody else has it. So if you can buy out, clear the shelf on those specific items, it's a great one. You do have to continue to hunt inside of Big Lots to find different things. And their food section, you can always find something that is different in their perishable grocery section that people are maybe not necessarily looking for, or not necessarily, they're looking for, but they didn't know that you can source it directly from Big Lots. So I like Big Lots for that reason. And they always, again, are always putting out holiday seasonal. You can always see that rotation of the holiday stuff coming out and the seasonal stuff coming out. So they do a really good job of giving you indication on what they perceive the next big thing is that people want to buy. The next is Aldi's. So Aldi's, I love Aldi's because one, they do have a non-food aisle. It is very general. It is very generic. It is very, um, you know, basic. And so they have a non-food aisle that you can go down, and there's a lot of different gems that are on that aisle. Now, you do have to, if you want to get any quantity of those specific items, you do have to go to multiple Aldi's. That is one of the strategies you have to employ. But they have a lot of good things. And then they also have some store brand specific products that people are interested in, especially if you have special diets. And so you can get some really cool perishable items directly from Aldi's and be able to sell them or resell them. And then last is Trader Joe's. Again, being forced to narrow down the list. Again, I have a much bigger list of about 9 stores that not 9, sorry, 12 stores that I like to go to. But if I was forced to narrow it down to 6, one store a week, one store a day for 6 days instead of 7, because one day I don't source. Trader Joe's will be my last one. They do have a lot of products that you can find online to be able to sell. There are things that they have that are replenishables that people are just absolutely in love with. So everything but the bagel is one of those things that people love, that specific seasoning. I don't know why, they just do. And it is a popular and hot seasoning that people want to buy. So Trader Joe's will be number 6 for me on the list. So this week we're going to go through a couple of other things that are my favorites. So to stay tuned. Our next one is online arbitrage stores that are my favorites. And if I had to narrow it down, which ones I would go through. And then we'll go with print on demand suppliers. If I had to narrow down the list, who would I go with? And wholesale suppliers along with dropship suppliers. So stay tuned and come back for the next session. Share this out with a friend. Let somebody know about the daily econ planning sessions because we love to be able to share that information with them. So I do want to let you know that if you live in the Dallas-Fort Worth area and you're not really sure what you want, your plan or strategy of attack is going to be this Q4, I would encourage you to come to our live event. We're going to be going through Black Friday strategy that you can implement into your business that would help you the remaining weeks of the year. Believe it or not, there are people that jump into e-commerce and they only sell during Q4. They start earlier than now, I will tell you that. And they spend 6 to 8 weeks just going through a blitz and use that money, that pool of money. And I raise my hand as one of those people. This is how I got started. I actually jumped in hard and heavy. I was already doing e-commerce, but then I kind of paid attention and got serious about it in October. And in a 6-week window in October to November past Black Friday, I made enough money to cover my kids' deductible. I made enough money to cover our insurance premium for next year and also to cover our summer programs in that 8-week window, believe it or not. And so it requires a lot of tenacity and it requires consistency and it requires perseverance. But you can do it. And if you're one of those people that you just need to maybe cover a vacation next year, or you want to get started in e-commerce and you want to know what it's like to actually get started and start getting sales immediately, this might be the workshop for you. I'm not saying what happens in Q4 is what's going to happen year round, because it is not. But for those people who get, I don't know, they're deflated, demotivated because of the fact they get started doing something, they don't see immediate results, and then they decide they want to quit. Q4 is a great time to get started so you can at least get motivated, get a little momentum in your business. Understand that the tide will turn as you get past probably about February of the next year. And so the consistency will start to slow down, but it'll start to slow down probably about mid-January, beginning of February. But the point is, it's a great time to get your feet wet, kind of establish a foundation in the e-commerce space. So you can go and register at ecomsellersmastery.com/live 2022. Again, ecomsellersmastery.com/live 2022, so that you have the opportunity to join us and let us show you what you can do. I can show you what I did to be able to make that kind of money and what we'll be doing this Q4 or the rest of Q4, because we're already into Q4. We're at the end of the month. All right. So, if you're ready to turn the dial up in your business, I invite you to go grab the My Econ Planner. The 2023 planner is out. It's available. It's ready for your use. If you want to grab the 2022, you can still grab the 2022. It's $7.99 right now, and for the digital planner. So, if you want to go grab that, go get it for $7.99, which is a steal. In addition to that, you can also get the 2022 physical planner at a discounted price as well. But I encourage you, if you're ready to get organized, get focused, get consistent in your business, go grab the My Ecom Planner. It was created for sellers by sellers, and it is the ultimate e-commerce planner. And if you need help, coaching, direction, guidance in your business, you can schedule a free 20-minute coaching session by going to ecomsellers.com, clicking on free resources to schedule your free 20-minute coaching session there. So, last but not least, I do invite you to join Ecom Sellers Academy on your journey. This e-commerce journey can sometimes be lonely, and just joining a group of people, like-minded sellers like yourself, gives you the opportunity to get some support. And we do offer live weekly training sessions. You get lists. There's other benefits. So go check out ecomsellersacademy.com to join. It's terribly affordable. It's $17.99 a month. So now we're going to get into the checklist that hopefully you downloaded earlier. So if you didn't download it, go download it now. That's the first thing. So you can go to the e-commerce planning Facebook group. We're live on Clubhouse. So after we go through the checklist, you can join the conversation. If you want an accountability check-in, you want to talk about what you're going to be doing in your business today, what your plans are, how you want to structure your business, what's happening in your business, regardless of e-commerce method. Let's talk about it. You can join the Ecom Sellers Club so we can talk about your business live right now. So go jump into Clubhouse. If you haven't downloaded the app, go download the app and join us on Clubhouse and join the Ecom Sellers Club. So with that, let's get into the daily ecom planning checklist, shall we? All right. So if you downloaded the daily ecom planning checklist, the goal is for you to be intentional in everything that you do in your business and in your life every day, and to be consistent. Consistency is the key. I will tell you, the last couple of weeks, there's been a whole bunch of stuff going on in my own personal life. So consistency has been a little up and down for me personally. And so I always have to go back to my list. And that is the thing. So as we go through this process, I'm going to tell you what's happening with me, and we'll talk about what's happening with me. So there are three things that we encourage you to do every single day. The first thing is some things that you do the day before. So the night before, you're going to go through at the end of the day, and you're going to go through and assess some things. But we're going to go through that. Then the next thing is that there's some stuff you're going to do the morning of. And then the last but not least is we're going to talk about some advanced planning. So I encourage you to invest no less than 30 minutes per day in this planning activity. You're going to actually see that you're far more productive if you do this. You'll actually make some progress on the things that you've been wanting to move the needle on, and maybe get a little bit more organized and a little structured along the way. So taking that 30 minutes, we break it up into 15 minutes the night before, 15 minutes the morning of, and probably a couple of minutes of just some advanced planning thought. That 15 minutes the night before, you could probably cut it down to 5, but we're going to go through and assess our day. That's number one. And how did our day go? What did we get done? What did we not get done? What are the things that we have to move to tomorrow? And what are the things that we need to carry over to next week or next month? Next month is November. We're already there, guys. So what did you get done? So for me yesterday, I had a list of 10 things that I got done. 10 things on my list, and I got 3.5 done. I celebrate the 3.5, disappointed that I didn't get through all 10. There was a lot of stuff going on, but I did get through 3.5 things. And so that's a good thing that I was able to get through 3.5 things on my list. So that's the first thing. So go through and kind of rate your day and see what you did and didn't get done. Make sure you include everything that's happening in your day. If you have the My Ecom Planner, you can document all of that stuff inside the My Ecom Planner. Number 2 is you're going to update your daily tracking stats. How many listings did you create? How many orders did you fulfill? What were your ads? What were your expense? What's your mileage? Like, there's a list of things that we're tracking every single day. That tracking of things that are happening in your business every single day helps to build momentum in your business and momentum and consistency in your life. And so that tracking is part of that consistency and habit building that we're working to establish. The next is number 3 is to review your online calendar. What's on your online calendar for today? What doctor's appointments, dentist appointments, what is happening that you have going on? Do you have to go meet with the insurance adjuster? Do you have to, get new tires on your car? Whatever it happens to be. What's on your online calendar for your business, for your personal life, and if you have a job, what's on your online calendar for your 9 to 5? Don't be surprised tomorrow morning when you wake up and you're going, oh, I forgot that meeting today is at 10 o'clock, whatever it happens to be. So don't be caught off guard. Don't react to your day and your life. Be prepared for it so you're aware of it in advance. And then number 4 is to build out your schedule for tomorrow. What's your plan for tomorrow? What are the things you need to get done? What are the things you're going to carry over that you didn't get done today? So you're going to write out your schedule. And you're not just building your schedule for your business. You're building your schedule for your entire day. Because God gives you 24 hours in the day. Of those 24 hours, what are you doing with them? Where are you investing the time? Where are you spending the time? We spend time on things that we perceive are important. So what are those things that you're doing? So in that, looking at your day, where are you spending that 24 hours? Of the 24 hours, hopefully 16 to 18 of those you're awake. So where is that time going? And can you account for it? And do you feel good about where you spent your time? If you don't, then work on gradually implementing a little more structure into your day. So again, be intentional about building a schedule. Be intentional about the things you put on the schedule so that you can build consistency into your life, okay? And progress and productivity. Increase your productivity. So the morning of this morning, right now, the things that we're going to do, there's 5 things we're going to do. The first thing is we're going to reassess yesterday. Sometimes at the end of the day, we're exhausted, we're beat down, a lot of stuff has happened, and it's just like, okay. So we're going to go back and revisit yesterday just because we want to make sure that in the future, when we build a schedule for the next day, that we build a more inclusive schedule. We get better at this building of the schedule and that we don't drop things off because there might be some habits and routines that you really weren't paying attention to in your 16 to 18 days, hours of being awake. Sorry, not days, but hours of being awake. There's maybe some things that you have been paying attention to. And now that you've increased your awareness, it's like, oh, I have this habit of XYZ, or I do this thing every Monday and whatever it is, but you didn't never notice the pattern before because of the fact that you weren't really paying attention. So go back and reassess yesterday so that you can work on building a better Tuesday schedule in the future, better Wednesday schedule in the future, better Thursday schedule in the future, and a more effective schedule, something that is more attainable and achievable, long-term, bigger picture, so that you actually have a sense of accomplishment as you go through your day. Number 2 is to review your weekly priorities and weekly habits. What are the priorities for this week? What are the things that need to get done in your life and in your business? So for me, this week is like, there's a bunch of stuff that I've got to do for my personal business, but there's also stuff that I've got to do for our nonprofit because we have an amazing event coming up this weekend. So there's a list of things that I work through so that I can get those things done and get the things done in my business so that both of the things continue to run and operate. So what are the priorities for the week? And you establish those priorities, hopefully, the week before so that you're not surprised. Building your priorities as the week goes along, like the priorities can shift because emergencies happen, and that makes sense. But sometimes we just make adjustments to the priorities just because we think this is more important. And again, if you step back and you look at your schedule from a bigger picture, planning in advance for whatever is coming up makes more sense. And then you can determine what the priorities should be for the week. In addition to what are the habits that you're working to build. These can be habits that you're working to build in your business or in your life. So building a habit is not something that you do in a 7-day period. It is something that you do over 30, 60, or 90 days consistently. So whatever the priorities and habits that you're working to build this week are actually habits that you probably established for the entire month of October. So how are you doing towards those habits? Whatever those habits are. Since we're in Q4, One of the habits is for some people is that they will increase the number of listings that they traditionally create every single day. And it may have been a gradual progression of increasing the number of listings that they create every day. So hypothetically, I will use an example of maybe in Q1, you're creating 10 listings every single day, 5 days a week. So 50 listings at the end of the week, 200 listings at the end of the month. Makes sense. Q2, keeping that theme, 200 listings for the month. Q3, sorry, not five. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, 5 days a week, 10 days a day. So anyway, 200 listings. I had to go back and check. Then in Q3, what you may be doing is increasing the number of listings every single month. So in September, instead of 10 listings a day, maybe you increase it to 12. And then that's week 1 of September. In week 2 of September, maybe you go to 13 or you go to 14. In week 3 of September, maybe you go to 16. In week 4 of September, you go to 18. So that by the time you get to October, you're already at 20 listings and you continue to create 20 listings. So you use Q3 to gradually increase the number of listings. You could break it down by maybe you do 12 listings a week in August or August, July, August, September. You do 12 listings a day in July. You do 14 listings a day in August. You do 16 listings a day in September. And then in October, you do 18 listings a day. November, you do 20 listings a day. So you gradually can build it up that way. But again, it's all about those habits. So maybe that's the habit that you're tracking. You're increasing your number gradually so that you increase the number of listings that you have available for Q4. So that's a strategy. So what are they? And we actually cover that kind of stuff in the monthly planning session that we have coming up on Sunday. So participate in the monthly planning session so we can go through and build out the rest of November and also the rest of this quarter, which is Q4. What's your strategy for the rest of the quarter? And then we'll also begin thinking about Q1. Then number 3 is we glance at our monthly checklist. Since this is the last full week in October, what were your goals and objectives for the month of October? Hopefully you've made some progress towards them. Hopefully you'll be able to check several of them off. So inside the My Econ Planner, we give you a place to be able to write down what your monthly goals and objectives are for the entire month so that you can see where you're trending or tracking towards those goals and objectives. Step 4 is that you write down your schedule for today if you didn't write it out the night before, or you review it to see if you need to make any adjustments based on the other stuff in step 1, 2, or 3, or step 2 and 3. So if you need to rewrite it, that's fine. If you don't need to rewrite it, it's perfect. It's ready to go. That's fantastic. Now we're going to read it out loud, speak it into existence. So we're ready to rock and roll. We're going to execute this schedule. So at this point, this is where I talk about putting the train on the tracks. And your goal is as much as possible to keep the train on the track so you can continue to make progress throughout the day. And then step 5 is to build out just a draft of your schedule for tomorrow. So tomorrow is Thursday. What do you have on the plan or the agenda for Thursday? And that's the goal, is to write out a schedule for tomorrow. All right. The last thing is to think about anything that's going to be a potential disruption or interruption in your life and or business or routine that you're working to build. Disruptions in the routine is what causes people to just stop. They just, if they're dieting and they have a disruption in the routine, in other words, they forgot to meal plan, or they, don't have a solution because they're out and about, and so they got to stop and eat at a fast food restaurant. That is a break in the routine. And so therefore that just opens the floodgates potentially to cause you to just completely stop whatever the routine is that you're working to build. The progress that you're making. You're just like, oh, okay, well, I stopped at McDonald's. And so now you're more comfortable with it, and you want to keep going to McDonald's. And so then you stop your diet. It's just a fact. Same thing with exercise, same thing with many other things. We could use that as an example. And so your goal is to be thinking about in advance those things that could disrupt or interrupt this routine that you're working to establish, and what you can do to help prepare for that. If there's a disruption in your routine that is coming up, then you make adjustments to your schedule, you make adjustments to everything so that way you can get your train back on the track much faster. Maybe you move your listing time If you're listing in the morning, maybe you move your listing time to the afternoon just to accommodate this one-time interruption. If it's an expanded interruption, something that's going to interrupt your schedule or your routine for a period of days, like maybe you have a family reunion, maybe you have a wedding, maybe someone is having a surgery, whatever it happens to be, it's going to take a couple of days that you're going to have to get your train back on the tracks. But you mentally prepare for that and you plan for that within your business, that this is an interim disruption. This is my adjusted schedule during this interim disruption. And this is my plan to get my train back on the tracks because I know it's coming up. So I hope this information is helpful. I hope you use it in your business and in your life. And I also hope that you'll share this out with a friend. Let somebody else know about the daily econ planning session. If you'll join us tomorrow as we have another session around, I think we're covering online arbitrage, as I said before. So my name is Nicole Whitlock. My passion is helping people on their e-commerce journey, helping them get organized, get focused, get consistent in their business. If that's you, I'm here for you. And with that, I hope that you have an amazingly blessed, extremely productive, and highly successful and profitable day. All right, we're going to say goodbye for now. Bye, y'all. And we're on Clubhouse, so join us over there if you want to continue the discussion.